Hello, it's John Heaton, and this evening I'm in the garden again, and I phoned the airport and I said I'm going to be reviewing Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan, so kindly don't fly over my house for the next 10 minutes. We'll see if they oblige. So this album, probably my favourite Dylan album, came out in December 1974, and actually the first version that he recorded, he changed a few of the tracks and re-recorded them. I know some of the experts say that the first version is better, but I've listened to both, and I think the finished version is pretty much the best version in virtually all cases, actually. So, in my top 5 albums of all time, and probably my favourite Dylan album. So, this album was missing from my collection, so I picked it up in London at the weekend. I'm very pleased to have it on vinyl again. This is a US copy, the original back sleeve and the original inner sleeve. I think it's a US copy, or maybe it actually says made in England here, so maybe it's a UK copy. But it's not the copy I had in the early 80s. It's definitely a different back cover, and I didn't have an inner sleeve like this. So I'd just like to say the words on this album are probably Dylan's best set of lyrics, in my opinion. Really heartbreaking stuff, because I think most people reckon it's about his relationship breaking up with his wife, although in typical fashion Dylan denies all that. He says it's nothing to do with it. Anyway, who cares either way. Great set of songs. I think this, along with John Lennon Plastic Ono Band, are the two most the two rawest albums in terms of the display of emotion, and not just wearing your heart on your sleeve, but wearing it, virtually bearing your whole soul on your sleeve. It is remarkable, and it starts off with Tangled Up in Blue, which is just a masterpiece. The title will give you a clue as to what it's about, I think. He's obviously in difficulty, and it's about a broken relationship. We needn't speculate which one, because it can relate to any relationship breaking up, really. The words are just outstanding. I mean, I'll just read you a snippet. I muttered something underneath my breath. She studied the lines of my face. I must admit I felt a little uneasy when she bent down to tie the laces of my shoe, tangled up in blue. I tell you, if you're in a really miserable mood and you want to wallow in self-pity, this is the album to play. And strangely enough, it's quite uplifting, because the music is so brilliant, and the tune on this song, the acoustic guitar, the production, I think is just brilliant. Simple Twist of Fate is next. Real return to songwriting form from Dylan on this album, because he hadn't really been writing top-notch songs really since Nashville Skyline, really. If you look at the stuff on New Morning and Self-Portrait. And Here Comes a Plane. So Simple Twist of Fate is a great song, and a great set of lyrics. You're a Big Girl Now. Heartbreaking, really. Definitely about this relationship breakup. Just read you a verse from this. The change in the weather is known to be extreme, but what's the sense of changing horses in midstream? I'm going out of my mind with a pain that stops and starts, like a corkscrew to my heart, ever since we've been apart. I don't know if Sarah was listening to this album, but it must have been quite an emotional experience to hear it for her. Idiot Wind is next. It's probably the angriest song on the album, because he's definitely annoyed at his partner or ex-partner in this song, and as such is probably not one of my favourites on the album, but it's got some great lines, very emotional, passionate vocal from Bob. I've been double-crossed now for the very last time, and now I'm finally free. I kiss goodbye the howling beast on the borderline which separated you from me. Pretty harrowing stuff. You're going to make me lonesome when you go. Open End Side 1. Very nice jaunty tune, which belies the pretty sad message underneath. Again, this is what I say, this album is quite uplifting because in many cases the tunes are so nice, and the production is brilliant, and Dylan sings this really well. In fact, he sings the whole album really well. Then side 2 opens with Meet Me in the Morning, and next time I go to New York City I'm going to go to 56th and Wabasha, because that's what the words say, meet me in the morning, 56th and Wabasha. So I guess Wabasha Avenue still exists, so I should check it out. But it's a cool song, and where's my favourite line? Here we go. Look at the sun sinking like a ship. Look at the sun sinking like a ship. Ain't that just like my heart, babe? And you kiss my lip. Next song, Rosemary. Lily, Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts is a kind of story song, third-party story song, and it's really not my favourite on the album. I think it goes on too long, and it's not that captivating or personal compared to the rest of the tracks on this album. It's not a bad song at all, maybe a bit repetitive. The next track is probably one of my favourites on the album, If You See Her Say Hello. Brilliant ballad, gorgeous melody, heartbreaking lyrics, gorgeous acoustic guitar playing from Dylan and the supporting musicians on this album all the way through. I love it. As I say, very sad, the words, pretty obvious what they're about. The last verse, sundown, yellow moon, I replay the past. I know every scene by heart, they all went by so fast. If she's passing back this way, I'm not that hard to find. Tell her she can look me up if she's got the time. Great track. Next is Shelter from the Storm, which is another top-notch track. The songwriting on this album, from start to finish, just amazing. Another great set of words as well. Well, I'm living in a foreign country, but I'm bound to cross the line. Beauty walks a razor's edge, someday I'll make it mine. If I could only turn back the clock to when God and her were born. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Very heartfelt, great track. Even my dad liked this track actually when I was playing it in the car years ago once, I seem to remember. The album finishes with Buckets of Rain, another extremely sad song. There's no let up on this album. I like your smile and your fingertips. I like the way that you move your hips. I like the cool way that you look at me. Everything about you is bringing me misery. So, it's as I say, it's uplifting as an album, although the lyrical content is sad. It's probably my top favourite Dylan album, closely followed by Desire and Street Legal, I think. And it's probably in my top 3 Beat albums of all time. So, 10 out of 10, surprise, surprise. Thanks for watching.